Good morning. I had a cancellation at 11 o'clock and I just wanted to jump on and talk about what I believe is a really important subject. And I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this, but it's a hill that I'm willing to die on, and it's all about marriage. And we're going to talk a little bit about why we need marriage. And right now, in the last, I would say 2 to 3 years, this is the shift that I've noticed. We're seeing more and more men in particular. So I hear it more on the men's side of the fence. I do hear it a little bit from the women's side of the fence, but the majority of the people that I hear it from are the men. And it is this idea that we don't need marriage anymore, and that men will not get married because of the court system and the family law and all of that. But we're hearing a lot of anti-marriage rhetoric. And like I said, it is predominantly coming from men. And so one of the things that I know I receive a lot, so a lot of people come into my DM, and remember, I'm not giving advice through DM anymore. Okay. But they come into my DM and they'll make comments or they'll ask questions, or they'll do it in the comment section of my content. And one question I get a lot, because sometimes I will post things, controversial things that I think are funny, and people feel a way about it. Y'all get all in your feelings and get all offended. But again, I don't manage the feelings of others. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I post what I post. How you feel about it is for you to manage. I do not manage the opinions or the feelings of other people. It's a full-time job managing myself. So I digress. But one of the things that I get a lot is questions about, well, these are the problems that men and women are facing. These are the problems that we're facing in relationships or marriage. What are the solutions? I have lots of solutions, but every time I offer up solutions, you all shoot them down. You all shoot them down. You all say, nope, ain't nobody doing that. Nope, don't nobody want to do that. So, I've given y'all all of the solutions I have. Every time I have a live, every time I make a post, every time I land in the comment section, which isn't often, but yeah, I have tons of solutions, but y'all don't want them. You shoot them down. Let's see. He says, I hope this is still accessible in the near future so I can come back to this. It will be. dn.griff. I will be saving this live. And so you're welcome to just come back to my page. It'll probably be the first one up because I don't know if I'll be going live tomorrow. We'll see. But yes, I'm going to tell you why we need marriage. Marriage is one of the solutions. Marriage is one of the solutions. Healthy marriages is one of the solutions. Premarital counseling is one of the solutions. Going to therapy and processing through your trauma from childhood, from young adulthood, from now is the solution. Abstaining until you're married or at least seriously committed is one of the solutions. I give y'all solutions all day long, but you don't want it. You don't like it. All you do is push back. So for the people who do say, yeah, where are the solutions? Well, I give the solutions all the time, but you don't want them. You want to hear the nonsense. You like the nonsense. Can I be honest? You like the nonsense. You like the foolishness. Right now, your timeline is full of it. If I go into any of y'all's phones and look at your timeline, look at your Explorer page, that's telling me all I need to know. But I have lots of solutions. But people don't want to hear it. The solutions for the women: become more feminine. Close your mouth sometimes. Have sex with your husband. Be affectionate with your husband. Heal the relationship with your husband. Okay? The solution for the men: heal the relationship with your wife. Make love to your wife's mind. Become emotionally available to your wife. Stop making it all about your paycheck, as if that is the end all be all to what you provide. I have solutions. Put God in your life. See, y'all don't want to hear that. Why don't y'all pray together? Why don't you read the Bible together? Why don't you read other spiritual literature together? Why don't you go to church? Why don't you watch church online? Why don't you find out what God's answer is for healthy relationships? Since He created it. He created relationships. He created you and me and everything else we see. but y'all don't want to do that. Every solution I give you, you do not want. So whenever I see someone ask me that question, or they have a problem with something I posted just to be funny, well, you focusing on the problem, you making it more divisive. What's the solution? I give you the solution all the time, and you don't want it. So, okay, I give y'all the solution. And you know what? And you know what I'm gonna do when this live is over? I'm gonna write it out at the bottom in the text. I'm gonna give you all these solutions again in the text at the bottom of this. But you don't want the solution. You don't want to abstain. A lot of you want to be free wives, or you want to have a free wife. You want to play house. Oh, the system is broken. We can't trust marriage anymore. And so we're not doing that, but we're going to move in together. We're going to have kids. We're going to buy a house together and get a dog together, and we're going to play house. As if that is some sort of protection for your heart. Like, okay. And when it don't work out, what you think you just going to skip over the heartbreak because you're not married? No, it's going to hurt just as much, if not more, because you don't have the protection of marriage. But what do I know? What do I know, right? But you want to go out here and have a bunch of free sex. And look, y'all are burning through the sex so much so that if you do ever get married, you can't have sex in your marriage. Like, you bored with sex now. Like, I ain't trying to do that. That's what I've been doing for years and years and years. And I'm not trying to have no more sex. That's what you're doing. Instead of abstaining, saving yourself for marriage, saving yourself for your husband or your wife, you out here burning through the streets. And then when you get married, you don't want to do it. So make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me, okay? But I have given nothing but solutions. Ladies, keep your legs closed. Vet a man for character. Vet a man for who he is, not what he has. Y'all don't want to hear the solutions. Can I be real? But we need marriage. We need covenant marriage. Yes, if you are legally married, it is a legal contract in which you enter into, which I personally believe protects everyone. You're welcome to have a prenup. I've been encouraging that. I've been encouraging the prenup, for as long as it's been alive. Before it was cool to have a prenup, I told people to have a prenup. I don't have a problem with the prenup. So if you need to put things in place, okay, so that you can protect yourself, go right ahead. But we need marriage. We need healthy marriages. We need God and Christ-centered marriages. Marriage is the cornerstone of our community and our society. We're going to see if people stop getting married. We're going to see in the next 20 years what happens to society at large. He says, although your solutions are being shot down to some or most, continue doing what you're doing. Your information will benefit someone, even if it's a few people. I applaud you. Thank you so much, sir. And again, as I tell people all the time, this was God ordained. like I couldn't stop if I wanted to. I can't tell you how often I'm up in the middle of the night getting downloads from God. Okay, so when you go live tomorrow, I need you to talk about marriage. I need you to talk about why we need marriage. I need you to talk about the purpose of marriage. Like, I can't even get good sleep at night, y'all, because God is just wearing me out. Okay, so this one, and look, you need to. So look, he had me pull up Abundant Life. Okay, so you pull up Abundant Life. God's intention for marriage is about covenant. The words Adam spoke when he first saw his wife were, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." So ladies, there's a space in you. There's a space in you that's always going to lead back to him. Gentlemen, as I've told y'all before, from whence the vagina you came, you will return. like that's why. That's why y'all can't leave it alone. Because that's where you came from, and you will go back. Okay? So we need to stop the nonsense. Men are not going to leave women alone. And women are not going to leave men alone. And I don't care what feminist rhetoric that they keep talking about. Oh, I don't need a man. I got my own money. And what else are they bringing? No, forget all that. Forget all that. You came from him, and you will return to him. Okay? And the same for a man. So look, isn't it interesting that the way God created it is the first woman came out of the man and every other man since come out of the woman. Isn't that interesting? So why we got to play these stupid games? If we're going to be together, let's do it the right way. Because we're going to be together, right? We're going to be together. We're going to keep being together. But instead of doing it the right way, instead of having standards and boundaries for how you do it, you're just like, oh, I'll just give myself away. I'll just give myself away. I mean, yeah, I still want to be with men. Yeah, I still want to be with women. But you know what? For the men, well, I'll just use porn. I'll just use OnlyFans. I'll just pay prostitutes. I'll just get a passport and go across the seas. Like, why can't you just do it the right way? That's what's got me lost. If you're going to keep being with women, why can't you do it God's way? Why can't you find a great woman? She finds a great man. And remember, it starts here. It starts here. Can I be 1,000% real? A lot of men, y'all, a lot of y'all, you're not finding wife material because for number one, you're not husband material. And number two, you're technically not looking for a wife. You ever think about that? That if energetically you go out into the world and you're like, marriage is a crock. I'm not getting married. I'm not looking for a wife. Oh, but let me go out here and look for women. You're not going to find wives. You're going to find women. You're going to find women who are not wife worthy because you're energetically, you've already decided, I'm not looking for a wife. Men shouldn't get married anymore. And so the women that energetically you are bringing to you are not wives. Because, here's a thought. You have to be looking for a wife to get a wife. But you all are not. Energetically, you've already shut down. Marriage is a crock. I'm not doing marriage. Or maybe I'll go overseas and find a wife, but I'm not doing that. But yet you're out here looking for women. And you wonder why you can't find a wife. Because you're not looking for one. Legs closed equals full control. Legs open means the man have all the control. Very simple. Thank you so much. And that was a gentleman. That said that. So if y'all ever want to just let that soak in, let that seep into your spirit, that ladies, you are at your most powerful when your legs is closed. That's when you have all the power. When you keep what you got to yourself. Okay? And again, there is no free sex. There is no free wife. If a man is willing to pay the price that you have determined, okay. And again, it's not monetary. It's not about money. Are you willing to give me your heart? Are you willing to give me your time? Are you willing to give me your commitment? Are you willing? See, those are the things, your effort, your energy. That's my price. So it's not about money. It's not about how much money he has or the things he has. It's the other things that I am interested in. But no, people don't explain prenups properly and it scares people. It's nothing but an agreement between two people, but it's positioned as a contract drawn up by one person's lawyer for the other to sign. Exactly. It's technically something that you're going to negotiate. So usually it is the idea of one person. And then once it is brought to the other person, you negotiate it, right? So if someone had their lawyer, let's say the next man I marry, he brings me the prenup, he has his lawyer draw it up. I go, oh, thank you, sweetie. I take it to my lawyer. He and I talk about it. And then we all come together and we negotiate that. That's it. If we cannot agree, if our negotiation fails, then we can reconsider whether we should be married. That's honestly how it's supposed to go. But this idea that you're in a relationship with someone for 3 years and, oh, okay, I'd be willing to get married with a prenup. That's something you should have thought about on the front end. Like you should have been talking about that for 3 years. But to try to spring it on somebody and then y'all can't agree, then what? What happens to the relationship then? Nope. So no, I have no problem with prenups. She said we all need to do the work and be with each other through our highs and our healing. Yep. Females nowadays don't know how to be a wife. What I want you to do is focus on yourself. Everything you desire is inside of you. Every single thing. If most people would just focus on themselves and being a husband, be the best man you can be and be a husband. Because energetically, you're not attracting wives because you're not looking for a wife, and two, you're not acting like a husband. And a lot of people don't want to come to that conclusion. I am not husband material. I am not looking for a wife, but it's the truth. So it's the chicken and the egg. You keep saying, oh, there's no wives out here. There's women who don't know how to be wives out here. Okay, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. And then energetically, you have to be looking for a wife. And trust me, you'll see everything that isn't a wife. And that's how you will very clearly know, oh, not a wife, not a wife, not a wife, not a wife, not a wife. See, I very clearly can tell you what's not a husband. Like it's clear as day. There's no confusion about it. I can look at a man's picture and for the most part, determine a lot about him. It would just based on energy, based on discernment, based on the things I see, I can tell a lot about him. And this is the thing that a lot of people push back on, but this is the truth. Just looking at a person, right? A lot of people would say, well, you're judging that person. You darn tootin' I am. I am judging that person. I'm judging their character. I'm judging the level of discipline they have in their life. I can tell a lot about a person based on what I see. A lot. Okay, I can tell what their level of self-esteem is. I can tell how disciplined they are. I can tell a lot about a person just based on a picture. Just based on a picture and what's in that picture. It's not the whole story, but it is some part of the story. A lot of folks haven't been raised to be a spouse. We aren't in tune with who men and women are at the core in essence. Okay, and that's something that we can learn. That is something that can be learned. However, what I've always instructed everyone to do is, number one, go straight to the person's family. Go straight to the family that raised them. That's going to tell you everything you need to know about that person. And let's say the family who raised them was dirt dog crazy or toxic, and that person lets you know that off rip. Yeah, my family's crazy or toxic or whatever they got going on. I don't have much, relationship with them other than a hi and bye. This is the work that I have done to overcome that. That's the next thing you ask. So whenever someone tells me, I don't have a relationship with my father, okay, so tell me, how has that affected who you are today? How have you processed that? How have you processed the not having a father? How have you processed the loss of your father? What have you done to come to terms with it? How have you grieved the loss of not having a father? See, those are therapy questions, but I ask those questions. I ask those questions in real life because that's what you really need to know. How is a person, how is a person dealing with it? No, God has given me he's given me the ability to judge a person's character. He says so in the Bible. That you darn tootin', I should be judging a person's character. He said there's too many places in the Bible where he says, if your brother has gone astray, you are to go to him. You're to talk to him in private. If it don't work out in private, you are to bring him to the people at the church. You're to bring him to the elders. So yes, we have the ability to say, hey, that's really what the body of Christ is all about, holding each other accountable. Once you enter into a good Bible-based Christian church, and I'm going to be honest, they're becoming few and far between. They're becoming few and far between now where churches are not doing what God ordained them to do, which is the members of the church are to hold each other accountable. They are to say, hey, that is not the way in which we behave. That goes against God's word. Okay, so God has ordained me to judge people. He has ordained me to do that, to judge their character, to determine what their morals and their values are, and if it aligns with me. He said, yeah, you better judge. You're going to be in a whole world of trouble if you don't. Okay, so nope. So no, you being foolish now, talking about don't judge. No, I can judge your character. I can determine and discern what type of person you are. And I should do that. And the first place I'm going to start is with your family. Okay? Islamic, there is no dating, all relationship contracts, agreements. So both parties of marriage know exactly what is expected. And then come into play the emotional part of marriage, love. Yeah, they have, I agree with their system in the sense of kind of like Indians, they have kind of an arranged situation. And the marriage is, the foundation of the marriage is not just love. Because I always talk to people about that. That cannot be the primary foundation of the marriage. You should love your spouse, right? You should love and respect your spouse, but you should also be practical in choosing a mate. There should be some practicality in that. It should not just be about, oh, girl, I have a feeling about him and he just gives me a feeling. No, it should be deeper than that, because guess what? Your feelings will wax and wane, especially if you're a woman. That's why I definitely teach women, these are the things you need to look for when choosing a husband. It cannot just be based on your feelings, because the way women are wired, we're going to feel great about him one day and we're going to hate him the next. But you know what I cannot deny? This man is a good father. You know what I cannot deny? This man is going to make sure our bills are paid. You know what I cannot deny? This man is going to work hard for me. He's going to treat me with kindness and fairness. And see, those are the things I cannot deny. So even when I'm, not feeling him, I cannot deny his character. I cannot deny that he is attempting to love me like Christ loved the church. That's what I cannot deny. So we got to go deeper than love, especially if you're a woman. Especially if you're a woman. Men, I have been fighting men on the internet lately about this concept of unconditional love. But men, for some reason, tend to be more romantic than women in that way. There is no unconditional love amongst adults. There are conditions. Okay? Relationship requires conditions. When you start talking about ride or die, that was a man that came up with that, not a woman. Not a woman. We don't stay in situations and circumstances that don't make us feel good consistently, that are abusive. Okay? We don't. We don't tend to stick around for a whole lot of foolishness. There's a small percentage of women who do, but most women will go about their business, especially now. Especially now. Women are not built to take on a whole lot of foolishness, a whole lot of struggle, No, they're not. And I'm not saying there should not be sacrifice in a marriage. I'm not saying there's not going to be highs and lows. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the consistent cheating. I'm talking about the consistent lying. I'm talking about the vices. I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking, the abuse, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse. You know what I'm talking about when I say that. But yet and still, I'm talking to a bunch of grown-ups. Well, what about this? What about that? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? My husband's going to wake up with bad breath. My husband's going to, pass gas and do all the things. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about abuse, neglect, abandonment, cheating, lying consistently, stealing, all the vice use. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody's going to ride that out. Okay, we're going to come to you a couple of times. We're going to say, hey, this doesn't feel good. This don't work for me. Like, we're going to do our best. We're going to whine and complain and all the things women do. And then once a woman is quiet, as I tell men all the time, once your woman is quiet, you have a problem. When you're not hearing her mouth no more, you have a problem. Okay, that's it. That's it. Thank you for saying this whole thing about unconditionally love. Yeah, men keep pushing that narrative. Men keep pushing that narrative. And can I be honest? A lot of y'all did not get unconditional love from your mom. That's the closest person. Can I be real? So God is unconditional love. When I tell you Anita has sinned, Anita has done some things that just, will make you go, okay, well, dang, like I thought, no, I've sinned. I can go into the Bible and I can check off all the sins that I am guilty of. And guess what? My God is still right there. Right there, just looking down on me like, okay, it's going to be some negative consequences, Anita, but I still love you. I'm still riding it out with you. I'm still, I'm still there with you in spirit. The Holy Spirit is still there with you. Okay? But that's your unconditional love, sir. You wanting that from a human being. And like I said, the closest person that you're going to get it from on earth is your mother. That's the closest person. Your mother, maybe your father. It's a lot of y'all. It's a whole lot of y'all that ain't going to get it from your father. But a lot of men didn't get it from their mother. And that is why they are willing to die on the hill of unconditional love. Because they didn't get it from their mother. And you need to look for Jesus. You need to have a relationship with God. And maybe then you will come to terms with, when you are talking about imperfect, flawed people, that no, I'm going to love you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to have compassion for you and care and kindness for you. But I will mess up because I have sinned. We all have. We've all, ever since the fall, sin entered the world. And so this concept of, I'm just supposed to put up with whatever. And that's what y'all are talking about. When a lot of men talk about unconditional love, they want to bring a bunch of foolishness home and they want you to accept it. They want you to suffer through it. They want you to, bear that cross. I know what y'all are talking about when you say that. But like I said, you need to look to your mother and you need to look to God. Because that's what I do. I look to my mother and I look to God. Those are the people who unconditionally love me. But that's a lot of reason why men talk like that, because they haven't experienced it from their mother. And they feel like, let me go out here and find a woman who can give me unconditional love. No, you're looking for mommy. You're looking for mommy. You cannot not look for mommy in a woman that you have sex with. No, that's weird. Okay, that's weird. There are conditions, and there should be. If you are an adult and you use and abuse me, if, things go left, if you decide you're just not going to work anymore, if you become an alcoholic, if you become a drug addict, if you have a gambling addiction, if you have a porn addiction, yeah, I'm going to now make a decision about this relationship. Because if you're not looking to get better, if you're not looking to curb those things, if you're not looking to work on those things, yeah, I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm going to protect myself. But I know what men mean when they keep saying unconditional love, unconditional love. But you need to look for that from your mother. And if you didn't get it from her, then you need God. You need God in your life, and God will deliver the unconditional love, the care. The Holy Spirit is right here with you. That's what I experience every day. I'm not out here looking for unconditional love from a flawed human being. I know they're going to fall short. They're going to fall short. Such is life. And guess what? I can still love that person. I can still support them the best I can, but they're going to fall short. So yeah, but that's a man who came up with that concept. But God's purpose for marriage is to be a picture of the covenant relationship between Christ and his bride, the church. Jesus gave this vow to his bride: let your conduct be without covetousness. Be content with such things as you have, for he himself has said, I will never leave you or forsake you. That's in Hebrews 13:5. God's intention for marriage is not to be a contract that needs both parties to hold up their end of the deal. As in 1 Corinthians 13:1 says, love keeps no records of rights and wrongs. So God's purpose for marriage is covenant. And it's not transactional. It is not based on, okay, you do this, I do that. It is two people, two imperfect people coming together. They have love. They have other, in my opinion, very practical things that we need to have. They have compatibility. They have discerned the other person's character, right? That they have all of the things, and they commit to come together in covenant and to do their best. That's what happens. When I come to the altar, my ego dies. And right then and there, I commit to do my best to this man. I'm going to do my best to be with you, to love you, to care for you. Because I'm just going to do my best. I'm going to be the best Anita I can be from now until the day I die. That's it. And I expect him to do his best. Okay? To keep learning, keep growing. Sacrifice time, energy, effort. That's it. And I want him to commit to that. And I'm going to commit to that. Okay? And this is the other thing I have to tell people. Again, I consider myself in all things. It is not because I'm not Jesus. I'm not Christ. So when I say I'm going to do my best, I'm going to show up as my best, right? That does not mean I'm going to take a person at their worst forever. Like I'm just going to put up with you at your worst forever. That's not what that means. Because that person should be committing to do their best, right? So if they're falling off, they started getting high all the time and getting drunk all the time and gambling all their money away and watching porn all day. That's not them doing their best. They're not keeping their end of the bargain. Like, please uphold your end of the bargain. That's all. That's all I ask. Be your best. Okay. It's a covenant. It is binding and irrevocable because of his love. He's already paid the price. Once you become married to Christ, a born again child of God, your salvation does not hinge on what you do or don't do. It hinges only on what Christ has done for you. So it's just like our relationship with Christ. That's why I say that is the unconditional love. Like he died for you. It don't get any more unconditional than that. He died for your sins. That is your unconditional love. But if you keep looking for it down here, and again, I know what y'all are thinking when you're saying unconditional. You want a person to put up with all your mess. That just ain't going to happen down here. That's why we need God. That's why we need Christ. That's why we need a savior. Because we're not capable of that. Okay? God's purpose for marriage is to be a picture of his love to the world. I've always said this. This is the number one reasons why I myself am a wife and need a husband. Because I and my husband, we need to show people how this thing looks. We need to show people how marriage is done. We need to show people what a healthy relationship looks like. We need to show the world. We need to show our children. We need to show our family. The community hinges on healthy, happy, strong marriages. That's what makes up a good community. But we're going to see in 10 or 20 years what these communities look like where there are no marriages, where there are no children. There's just a bunch of single people and they each have a pet. Like we're going to see what our community looks like. Tynette Daniel says, I always say I want a marriage that tells the truth about who God is. Right. That's a wonderful reason to be married. God's purpose for marriage is to be a light in the darkness. We are in the darkest time in history right now. And there are times where in the middle of the day, as bright as the sun is shining, I feel the darkness on the world. I've spoken on it many times. Couples are to reveal the love of God in a world that does not know him so that they may come to know him. So when you meet a couple, not a perfect couple, a regular old couple, a man and a woman that have committed to being their best, have committed to each other, and they are just walking this thing out and they love each other and they're crazy about each other and they're friends and they have fun together, it do make you feel a way. Like you be feeling a way like, dang, well, what is going on over there? They are really happy. They are, their kids are well managed. Their kids are happy. Their kids are doing great in school. They're doing great. What is going on over there? That's what it make you say. So yes, it is meant to be an example to the world. And think about it. We have very few good examples of what healthy marriage looks like, of what healthy relationship looks like. And now we are in a twisted world that says we don't need a title. We don't need a commitment. That's called using each other. That's what that's called. That's called using each other. People who are in friends with benefits or situationships or talking stages for years, that's called using each other. And that is not of God. That is not of God. To be walking around in the street in public holding someone's hand, and when they say, yeah, is that your girlfriend? Is that your boyfriend? What do you mean? What? Is that your husband? Is that your wife? What? It's, we're talking. It's complicated. That's a hard question. Like, honestly, that's not a world I want to live in. So people using each other, that's what we're doing? No, the world I want to live in is committed. And it makes a decision. Like, we are living in an ADHD world right now where people refuse to make a choice. People refuse to intend. I had a friend just the other day. I said, yeah, we're going to the VMFA event next Saturday, I think it's February 10th. And today's the 1st. So it's 10 days away. I said, yeah, we got to get tickets. I'm going, I need to know on the day of. Like, people, they won't even commit anymore. They won't even plan anymore. This is the world we live in. It's 10 days away and you can't tell me now if you can go. Like, that's crazy to me, but that's the world we live in. Oh, that morning I'll let you know. You know what? It's going to be sold out and, that's okay. If you cannot tell me right now what you're doing in 10 days and commit, the intention is to go to the VMFA. That's it. That's my intention. That's why I'm going to buy a ticket. My intention is to go to the VMFA. And that's it. I put it on my calendar. I marked the time off, and that's what I'm doing. But people don't want to do that. They don't want to choose to be with one person. They have options. Let me tell y'all, if I hear that word options come out of another man's mouth again, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so sick of hearing that. What? And in all honesty, they really don't have the options they think they have. That's what's sad. So if I hear another woman say it, if I hear another man say it, you really don't have the options you think you have. And instead, you need to make the best choice you can make, using your right mind, using all the tools you have, and you need to be with that person, commit to that person, and sit down and be happy. But you can't be happy because you're jumping from person to person to person to person. There's always something better. Fear of missing out. And before you know it, you're going to be 50, 60 years old. Like, oh, wow, I never got married. I never had any kids. Yeah, because you were stuck in this hamster ADHD wheel of I just can't make up my mind. I just can't figure out. Like, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. But I tell a lot of people, men and women, and people hate me for this. Like, they hate me for this when I say this. I said, look, if you meet a 50-year-old man who's never been married and never had any children, that's telling you something about him. And you need to pay attention. That's telling you something. Same with a woman. You meet a woman, 50 years old, never been married and never had any children. That's telling you something. Okay, either she did not want to get married and have children. Okay, that's her right. But if she gives you, this is the excuse a lot of people give when they get to 40 and 50 and 60 and never married and never had any children. Well, I just didn't find the right person. I just didn't find. That's a lie. That's a lie. So you've been dating all this time, and they've been dating, y'all. They ain't no nun. They ain't no priest. They've been dating. They've been screwing. Okay. They may have lived with a couple of people and they've been dating a whole lot of people and they've been sleeping with a whole lot of people. I just never found anybody. No, you were not intentional. You were not intentional. You were not a husband or a wife, and you were not looking for a husband or a wife. That's why you never got married. But when 25, 26, 27, like right around 27, I was like, you know what? I am a wife. I'm becoming a wife. I am a wife. And I am learning. Well, by then I did know. I didn't need to learn. I knew all the skills that wives bring. But I am a wife. And now I am intentionally presenting myself to be found by a husband. Once I said that and I rejected everything that wasn't a husband, I found a husband. See? That's how it works. So number one, I declare and decree that I am a wife. I am someone's wife. I am a mother. As soon as I declared and decreed that, okay, that's the destination. That's where I'm headed. Number two, I refused everything that was not a husband. I refused everything that would not lead to me having a family. I was in search of a husband. I was positioned and presenting myself to men who were ready to be a husband. And honestly, a lot of people don't do that. You're out here floating about, bumping into people, just doing whatever, and you're getting whatever. Like that, you're getting nothing because you're doing nothing. You have no intention. You don't declare yourself to be a wife or a husband. You don't go in search of a wife or a husband. Well, I have a good friend now on the dating app. And so every now and again, she'll come over and kind of, and I don't know why I keep telling her, please don't show me this mess, but she'll show me what's on the dating app, and we'll read the little profiles and look at the pictures because, I have the gift of discernment. So I'm like, nope. Look at this. Look at that. No. And honestly, that's going to be 90% of the profiles. 90% of the men's profiles, 95%. Can I go that high? 95% of the men's profiles on dating apps are completely non-viable. They are not viable. Okay? They are not viable. So nope. Not viable. They are not viable. And so we're going to spend a whole lot of time going, nope, not him. Nope. But like I said, they continue. There we go. Thank you. They continue to go on these dating apps and to be put in this pool of 95% of insecurely attached people. I don't know why. I don't know why ladies cannot just walk away from dating apps. Like, just walk away from dating apps. Walk away from dating apps. But to some extent, people are lazy. And so dating apps is the easiest, least barrier to entry way to try to make contact with the opposite sex. But it's a complete waste of time. It's just not worth it. So, okay. But look, if I see another profile under, what are you looking for? I don't know. I mean, I'll know it when I see it. Just going with the flow, just seeing what happens, just meeting up and seeing if I see that again. And this is why I told her, stop showing me this. Like, I'm so sick of this. I don't want to see this anymore. It's a bunch of aimless, mindless people looking to just bump into a bunch of other aimless, mindless people. Nobody on here is intentional. Nobody on here wants anything real. Nobody on here wants anything committed. Nobody on here wants to be a husband or a wife. Like, why? Leave it alone. Leave it alone, please. Okay? But yes, we need marriage. Do the marriage laws need to change? Yes, most definitely. I'm not in disagreement. Yes, but here's how I think we're going to do it. I think we could do it within marriage. I think once our communities get stronger, once we have stronger communities and societies and people who are married, I think we could change it. And like I told you, I love the prenup. I love the prenup idea. I don't know why we don't use it more often. Mr. Right Bad Boy says, knowing what you're looking for is key in your relationship. I know my worth, and that is how we get started. Marriage, family, and children are important to me as a man. My sacrifice came at a price. Yeah, we got to know what we're doing. And a lot of people don't. Most people don't. Like I said, they can't commit to going somewhere on Saturday night, and today is Thursday. I have friends right now that if I say, yeah, we're going to watch a movie at the house and order pizzas, we're going to have a movie night at the house. Well, yeah, let me get back to you on that day. No, I just withdraw the invitation. If I ask you on a Thursday, if you can come on a Saturday, and you actually hit me back with, let me get back to you on the day of, I just withdraw my invitation. I say, no, you know what? Invitation withdrawn. Why, Nina? Why you got it? Because I don't like that foolishness. I don't like that foolishness. I don't like this whole, let's see if something better comes along. Like, you're not my person. You're not the person for me. I am a committer. I commit. Okay? I commit. I make choices. I make decisions every single day. I'm not one of these people that just out here flapping in the wind like the little crazy armed guy in front of the car dealership. That's not me. I make decisions. I decide right then and there, what am I doing on Saturday? What am I going to feel like doing on Saturday? Do I want to come to this person's house? Do I want to watch a movie? Do I want to eat pizza? I determine that right then and there. When the person makes the invitation, is yes or no. That's it. I'm not putting nobody on hold or on ice. Let me see how I feel on that day. No, I commit. That's why I'm where I am in life. I commit. If I give you my word, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. It's that simple. It's not hard. And people who are like that are my people. That's the person I hope to commit to forever. Is a man who comes in my life and says, Anita, you are the one. And I say, you are the one. And we do this thing. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. It's not hard. We make it hard. But once we determine that we are compatible, once we determine that we have similar character and morals and values, once we determine what our communication will be and our conflict resolution skills, and there's a connection and we have chemistry, okay, we have Christ in common, I'm good. I'm good. We good. That way I can get, the sooner I can get out of this mess, the better. Because I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm wilting on the vine out here. Okay? But yes, marriage is needed. Men, women, we need marriage. And there are lots of statistical data about men and how much more money they make when they're married, how healthier they are when they're married. Women, how much better, your life will be, your net worth. And there's tons of benefits to being married. And let's not even get started about children. Our society is destabilized right now because of all the children that are being brought into the world that are not in a healthy two-parent home. Our whole world is being destabilized because of that. And we are now in 2024. We're starting to see the remnants. I mean, it's coming in fast and hard of the kids born 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4. Like, we're starting to see where we're at. All the kids born then into single mother homes, no father, we're starting to see the chickens have come home to roost. So, yeah, we need marriages. We need healthy examples of what God's love looks like, what Christ's love of the church looks like. Just like we need God, but y'all want to get rid of him. You don't want God in the middle of it. You don't want Christ in the middle of it. You don't want no marriage. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. These things are affecting our world like a virus. Y'all were out here worried about COVID-19. What you need to be worried about is single mother-headed households. You need to be worried about all these children are coming into the world with no stable home. You need to be worried about marriage rates declining, birth rates declining. There's a whole lot of other things you need to be worried about. Because it is a nightmare. It is incredibly destabilizing. So I have to keep speaking of it. I have to keep giving solutions. As I've told you before, I've given lots of solutions. People always, what's the solution, Anita? And I give you the solutions and then you push back. You don't want it. You don't like it. So, but I have to do it. I have been given the download. I have to keep giving the solutions to the men and the women. And what you do with it, that's on you. So, yeah, but I do have solutions. I'm always talking about that. But you don't like them. You be mad. You be upset. So, okay, but I will always advocate for marriage. I've gone on a couple of male podcasts and I've said what I've said. Okay, well, I'm never going to ever, and the court system and this and that and the third, and women can't be trusted. Okay, and I just listen to them. All right. Again, it's not going to change anything in my mind. I'm always going to advocate for marriage. I'm always going to be God's representative of what healthy love and what I hope one day is healthy marriage. Yeah, I'm always going to rep for God. I'm always going to rep for marriage. I'm always going to rep for everything that he wants for us down here on earth as well as in heaven. I'm always going to rep for that. So, yeah, and there's going to be a whole lot of people that's not going to like it and not going to want it. Okay, I'm good. All right, but we need marriage. Our children need marriage. And how we can tell where we are in a society is how our children are being treated. So when we have children that are being trafficked, when we have children that are failing in school, when we have children that, are being targeted, that we have some serious problems. That's the most vulnerable people in our society, and we can't even protect them. We got some problems that we need to work out. And I believe marriage is a big part of solving it. healthy marriages, happy marriages. Okay. So not just marriage for the sake of marriage, but good marriages. All right. Thank you for joining me. I got to let the puppies out. I appreciate you all. I appreciate your support on the platform. Please keep it classy. Okay. Keep it classy. Keep it kind. Be kind to each other. We are all connected. I need you to understand that. So what you're putting out is coming right back to you. Okay. Be kind. Be classy. Do not be disrespectful on my page. I will invite you to the door. I think I had to get rid of like over 100 people this month. Over 100 people got blocked because of the foolishness. Your solutions require a sacrifice at one point or another. Agreed. Most people don't really want a solution. They want you to tell them what they want to hear. Toxic advice. Yeah, no, can't do that. Can't do that. Oh, got on late. I appreciate you. Thank you. I will be saving this live, so please feel free to come back. I'm going to list some of those solutions in the post section, because people ask me that all the time. What are the solutions? I'm happy to list them. And some of y'all push back. You don't like it, but that's what I believe the solution is. So, but thank you for joining me. Thank you for your respectful support, as always. If you would like more information about me, what I do, the services I have, the books I've written, anything that's going on with me, please click my Pillar link. Go to my bio. There is a link there called Pillar. If you click on that, that's going to give you everything you need to know about me. There are free resources. There are ebooks there. You can coach. You can get one-on-one coaching from me. You can get a question answered, a video answer to your question. Everything is in my Pillar link. And if you are a creator or if you have a business of your own, you can get your own Pillar link. I'm going to start making some content around the use of Pillar, because it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing that Pillar has driven my sales, and I mean, it's just driven it through the roof. So you can get your own Pillar link if you would like. All right. How can we see the beginning of today's lesson? I am going to save it. I'm going to save it right now, so it should be up shortly. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, stay open to love.